Mortefi is one of the best sub-DPS in the game. He can deal insane amounts of damage and is one of the few characters in the game that has off-field damage. He also provides huge heavy attack damage buff. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting with his kit. Mortefi just deals pyro damage with his elemental skill and restores 18 concerto energy. He gains his 4-day circuit stacks from his intro skill, resonance skill, and normal attacks. Using normal attacks after using his skill restores additional stacks. When the 4-day circuit is filled, his resonance skill is replaced by Fury Fudge. It has higher multiplier than the elemental skill and also restores 18 concerto energy. Now on to the best part of his kit, his Resonance Liberation. After using his Liberation, Mortefi will apply a Burning Rhapsody state to all party members. Using basic attack or heavy attacks of any character in this state will launch coordinated hits. Mortefi's Outrow skill gives a massive 38% heavy attack damage boost, which makes him the best support for characters who rely on heavy attacks like Jian. His first inherent passive gives a 25% damage increase to his special resonance skill that can be casted when the 4-day circuit is filled after using the normal resonance skill. And the second passive increases the damage of the coordinated hits from his Resonance Liberation. Moving on to his advancements. All of his advancements are quite good. They increase his damage and provide other utilities like energy restoration. But the best ones are his third one, which increases the crit damage of his coordinated hits by 30%. The fourth one increases the duration of his burst state by 7 seconds. And the sixth one gives a massive 20% attack boost to all teammates after using his burst. Before we start with his equipments, it is important we talk about his energy requirements, as casting his Resonance Liberation is extremely important. Thankfully, his liberation cost is not that high, it is only 125. By following the right rotation, which I will talk about in a bit, around 130 to 150% energy recharge should be enough. I would still recommend you to aim for 140% energy recharge or higher to be on the safer side, as it is not possible to execute the perfect rotation every time, due to the aggressive nature of the enemies in this game. His A2 can reduce his energy requirements by a bit. Moving on to his weapons. The best weapon for Mortefi is unarguably the standard 5-star pistol, Static Mist. It has crit rate, which is great for Mortefi's personal damage and additionally from its passive. It provides 12.8% energy regen, which is a needed stat for Mortefi and provides attack percent to the next character you switch into after using his Outrow skill. For 4-star options, you can use the Undying Flame, the BP weapon, Thunderbolt, or Nova Burst for more personal damage. Or the Candaza is decent as well. It has energy regen, which lets you build offensive stats on your artifacts. And it provides additional concerto energy from its passive. For 3-star options, you can use the Pistol of Voyager or Pistol of Night as a placeholder. For his Echo set, the best set to use will be the Moonlit Clouds. The reason being it provides energy regen from the 2-piece set effect, which is nice, and the 4-piece effect gives 22.5% attack bonus to the next character you switch into after using Outrow skill. This is great as mostly after sub-DPS you switch to your main DPS. Another amazing part of this set is the Impermanence Heron. This Echo skill is amazing. Once the initial hit of this skill hits, it restores 10 resonance energy to the character, and after casting Outrow skill within 15 seconds of using it, the next character's damage is boosted by 12%. There should be no other set you should be using aside from this one. However, if you have no options, you can go with the Molten Rift set and use the Biker Echo for more personal damage from Mortefi, or if you wish to use him as DPS. Alternatively, you can mix and use 2-piece set effects of the Moonlit Clouds, Molten Rift, or the Lingering Tunes. Your ideal echo pattern should be like this: a 4-cost echo, then 2 3-cost echoes, and for the last 2 slots, use 1-cost echo. On the 4-cost echo, you will need crit rate or crit damage depending on your stats. Try to aim for around 70% crit rate, as we already have a high crit damage base stat. For the 3-cost echoes, use fusion damage bonus or energy regen. Ideally, 1 fusion damage bonus and 1 energy regen echo should be the way to go. But if you are using the Candaza pistol or have high enough energy regen, you can go for fusion damage or attack echo for the second piece as well. And for the 1-cost echoes, go for attack percent. If you didn't know, the second stat of the 4-cost and 3-cost echoes are guaranteed flat attack, and the 1-cost echo is guaranteed flat HP. For Substats, prioritize energy regen until required, followed by crit rate or damage, followed by liberation damage bonus or attack percent. Now for Mortefi's ideal rotation. I will be using the Gian Mortefi Verena team as example. Mortefi has 134% energy regen, using his best set and echo skill. Verena is using the rejuvenating glow set and the Bellborn echo skill, which is best for supports. For more details on Verena's build and rotations, you can check out my complete Verena guide. And Gian is just here as a main DPS. So first I start with Verena's skill and heavy attack. Instead of Verena, there can be any other support like Baiji. Then I switch to Mortefi, use his skill and normal attacks till his 4-day circuit gets filled. Then I use the special skill and switch to Gian to use his skill and basic attacks to make sure his burst is ready. And now 12 seconds have passed, so I switch back to Verena to use her resonance skill and heavy attack to fill the concerto bar. Then use her burst and echo skill and switch to Mortefi, which will trigger his intro skill. Tap his echo skill. Don't hold it or it will waste a lot of time. Then use his skill. With this, you should have his 4-day circuit filled, as well as his ultimate skill ready, and the concerto energy bar should be filled too. Use his ultimate skill, then his resonance skill. Or vice versa if the ultimate is not ready. Then switch to your main DPS and do their rotation. This should be the ideal rotation for Mortefi. The reason why we follow a rotation like this is because you need concerto energy. Even if his burst is ready right from the start, it is important to fill his concerto energy bar to trigger his outrow skill, and your main DPS intro skills, as various buffs are tied to these skills as well. So his rotation is like support, then switch to Mortefi, use skill and basic attacks. Use the skill again after the 4-day circuit is filled. Switch to main DPS and then go back to support and use their skills. Then switch to Mortefi. This switch will mostly trigger his intro. Then use his echo skill followed by resonance skill. Then ultimate and special resonance skill and switch to main DPS. Now moving on to his teams. Honestly speaking, there's nothing much to talk about here, as Mortefi, being such a strong sub DPS, can fit into any team. That being said, your team comp will look something like this. Mortefi, a main DPS and a support or another sub DPS or a buffer. Ideally, you would want to use a main DPS that can deal considerable amount of damage from their heavy attacks to make the most out of Mortefi's kit. Here are some team examples. Gian, Mortefi, Verena. Rover, Mortefi, Baiji. Dungeon, Mortefi, Dauchi. Calchero, Mortefi, Verena. You can create many more such teams because he is very flexible. And with this, I will end this video. If I missed anything, I will add it in the pinned comments. If you guys found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it further. Subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching.